Week 12 SFL action begins tonight here from Fatherhood Festival Field in Canton, Ohio, as the Canton Classics play host to the Carolina Skyhawks. Good evening, everybody. I am Mike Daggs, and with me in the booth is Gerald Smith, first of his name, family of Smith, father of three, fixer of ice machines, you name it. With us tracking stats, Ike McBride and Tristan Hatley. You are watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on YouTube. Gerald, how you doing tonight?
Good. You can also add HVAC repairman and refrigeration technician.
Darn right. Although you can't fix a melted heater, I hear, so you can't do everything. But hey, whatever. We got football tonight, so let's get to that. Canton Classics taking on the Carolina Skyhawks. First meeting between these two teams. Canton at 6-4, Carolina at 5-4. Great matchup tonight. What do we have to look forward to?
We got a couple of top 8 defenses, with Carolina coming in with the number 8 total defense, and Canton coming in as the number 2 total defense in yards allowed. Now, one thing we're going to look for here is actually the run game from both teams here, with Canton actually rushing the ball more than any other team in the league.
They sure do.
Carolina's a bit more balanced coming in with their offense, but we're going to see if the run-heavy Canton offense is going to be able to hold up real good against one of the sturdier defenses in the league in Carolina.
Robert Johnson, running back for Canton, 354 carries so far this season, number 1 in the league. How's this game going to wrap up, and who's going to win? As Matt Wilson would say, there's only one way to find out, and that's on the field. We'll head down to the field. Canton has the ball teed up, kicking things off. Carolina will get the first crack at it on offense this evening. Rob Ems kicking it deep and returned up to the 25-yard line by the one, the only, Harish Prasad. First down and 10 for Carolina. Matt South brings the offense out onto the field. Carolina just coming off a bye week in their last game against Florida. Matt South, 13 of 16, 195 yards. Did not have a touchdown pass. He did throw one pick. Ike McBride with only 6 rushing attempts for 23 yards. See what they do here in this one. South will throw on first down. Nearly throws a pick, but instead it is complete for a 2-yard gain on the right-hand side. Chase Earl with the catch. Let's roll through the starting lineup real quick. Matt South's the quarterback. Ike McBride is the halfback. Hortori Hanzo, the fullback. Chase Earl, Riley Quintero, Harish Prasad, those are your wide receivers. Vince DeSantis and Xavier Solomon are the tight ends. Kate Palmer, Ricky Rigatoni, and Chris Cross are the tackle and both guards, respectively. Second down and 8. South pitches it out to McBride. Her first carry of the ball game goes for a gain of 2, 3rd and 6.
Yeah, that's one of her carries she gets this game, because last game she got hurt and injured and finished the game on the sideline while her Carolina Skyhawks beat one of the best teams in the league. So it kind of tells you a lot about this team and what Carolina can do, even without one of their best players.
South on 3rd down has time in the pocket, throws over the middle into triple coverage, and that one is batted away and incomplete. Canton defense. Defensive line, Chris Porter, Mike All, LL Volt, Jabril Curse. At linebacker, Mark Gronick, Dimitri Monzuma, Ace Singletary, and Kevin Brackett. The secondary is Evan Lacey, Connor Darien, Frank Bernstein, Joshua Durr, Kanye Rockefeller, legend in his own right, and King Jamal. Punt from Carolina is away, taken back at the 38-yard line, returned up to the 42-yard line. Brought up there by Andrew Gibson. First down for the Canton Classics. Scar Patterson. Gerald, you mentioned this isn't a very pass-heavy team. Scar's stats on the season, 123 completions on 196 attempts, 1,658 yards. All of those are in the bottom 5 in the league overall.
Yeah, it's not where they've had their strength all season.
Patterson does, ironically, throw on first down, but that one is incomplete. Pass over the middle. But Robert Johnson, he's really the one-man show here on offense, if you will. 354 carries, 1,606 yards. That's number 1 and number 2 in the league, respectively. Has 18 rushing touchdowns on the season.
And oddly enough, 18 rushing touchdowns is only 4th best in the league.
And there is Robert Johnson on his first carry of the ball game. That one's good for only a gain of 1. Brought down by Danny Stinson. We'll roll through the starting lineup quick. Scar Patterson's the quarterback. Robert Johnson and Kane Hunter are the halfbacks. Toronto Rivera is the fullback. Ryan Owens, Andrew Gibson, Al Dillapre Sr., Bob Long, and Mike Trinscrew are the receivers. Jack Wall is the tight end. Jacques LePancake, Max Van Linge, Adam Chance, and Girth Lord are your left and right tackles and left and right guards. 3rd down and 9. All
we got
day
lots of time
for Patterson. Ball comes out. They'll rule that a forward pass, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they're going to rule the forward pass. The thing about it is Scar Patterson drops back, and it's almost like, hey, I don't get too many of these chances. I have no idea what to do with the ball.
Just standing
and he
there
held on
what
to
do I
it
do
for
now?
so long that it allowed just a 3-man front to finally get pressure and hit him right as he's throwing the ball.
So 2 3 and outs to get the game started. Still waiting on our first down of the ball game. Charles Brown on to punt for Canton. Taken back at about the 18-yard line and returned up to the 23. So a drive by each team. Not a lot of action quite yet.
No, a couple of 3 and outs, and I mean, we're only 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes into the game right now, and each team has had a possession, and they got a chance to size each other up on either side of the ball. Now we're going to see if Carolina's got, a good eye and seeing what they're going to do next on this drive.
Matt South under center on 1st down. 2 backs in the backfield. Pitches this one out to McBride. Flag on the play.
That's a face mask.
Yeah, face masks. That'll be extra yards. They do
clipping.
Oh, no. Gerald, you got the call wrong.
He just got...
They're calling that one on Carolina.
She just got the ball, and
let's take another look.
Let's see what phantom call this is.
I mean, that is about as ticky-tack as it comes. Yeah, Riley Quintero certainly pushed him in the back, but he didn't even go down. I mean, he was more just like guiding him along a little bit. Needless to say, 11-yard penalty. 1st down and 21, now backed up to their own 11-yard line.
That's pretty phantom-ish, if I say so.
Indeed. Anyhow, South drops back again. Pressure on its way. Gets that pass out into double coverage. That one is incomplete. 2nd down and 21. Joshua Dorr in on the coverage.
Yeah, one of the things you're going to see from Canton here, Canton, actually likes to blitz off the edge with one of their linebackers here, but they're going to have to be careful in doing so, especially in certain situations, because you don't want to blitz and leave yourself, open on the back end there. 4
on the line for Canton. They send 6. Pressure on its way again, and once again the pass is incomplete, trying to get Chase Earl the ball, and the pressure, I think, is rushing these throws and causing the incompletions. Now 3rd and 21.
Well, the protection actually held up on that blitz right there. Just really good coverage, and as he's coming across, just couldn't kind of corral it in as the defender was hitting him on the back. Chase Arrow is usually a pretty sure-handed wide receiver.
Matt South, 1 of 4 so far on the first 2 drives. Quintero in motion up to the top. And he will just hand this one off to Ike McBride. Breaks 1 tackle, can't break the 2nd. He's able to gain 4 yards on the play, brought down by Jamal. And another 3 and out. That penalty really kind of killed the drive before it even began.
Yeah, right, because Ike had actually gotten a good chunk of yardage there, 4 to 5 yards on that first play, and then, penalty comes in and kind of pushes you back. And I'm not mad at that 3rd down play either, right? I mean, you're so far backed up in your own area, you don't want to put it in a situation to where that's not a very good punt.
No, not at all. Ball at the Carolina 41-yard line. So Canton's going to have great starting field position on this one. Canton Offense back out on the field. The Carolina defense on the field as well. Christopher Colon, Levant Irvine, Stephen Forbes, and Phil Hull are your defensive linemen. Danny Stinson, Mojo McLean, and Shravan Prasad are your linebackers. The secondary is made up of Tristan Hatley, Skippy Curtis, Davidson Joseph, Monty Wyatt, Chris Delro, and Ibari Aman Eglin. 7-yard pickup by Robert Johnson. Tries to extend the ball forward like he got himself a first down. Still waiting on the first one for the game. 2nd and 3.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work that way. No. I'm sure a guy who carries the ball over 350 pounds, I'm sure he knows that, but
well, you never know when the ref might not be paying attention. Like on that clipping call. Johnson, hit in the backfield, taken down for a loss. Brought down, it looked like that was Tristan Hatley with the TFL.
Yeah, coming through in the clutch, the 11-season veteran. Yeah, it was 22. Maybe 29 was in on there too, in Eglin, but looked like Hatley right off the edge.
3rd down and 5. Patterson throws deep over the middle. Oh, got his man, and 1st down and goal. A nice laser of a throw to Mike Twinscrew. What a catch. First down of the ball game. Check that off the list.
Yeah, check it off the list, and actually gets him, I believe, inside the 5-yard line, right, for a 30, almost a 30-plus yard catch right here. Where's he at? Yeah, he's right there inside, about to the 5, right? He's getting about a 35-yard. Well, maybe my math is wrong.
Yeah, this
30.
is why we
maybe
have. Yeah, this is why we have Ike McBride and Tristan Hatley on.
Or they just 6
in the stats truck because I don't.
20. I'm gonna do the math.
All you're doing now is.
I think it's 30 yards.
All you're doing is saying numbers. You sound like Rain Man. Just stop. Ball's handed off to Robert Johnson, tackled once again in the backfield. That time for sure. It was Tristan Hatley getting the TFL. Pretty sure the first one was Amon Eglin, but then Tristan Hatley saying, "I'll get a TFL here." Got that one. 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, and they're no strangers to actually getting tackles for losses, these guys too. So they got 3 guys on the Carolina defense that are double-digit TFLs.
Short drop by Patterson. Has time, throws towards the end zone, and that one's incomplete. Was trying to get it into the hands of Toronto Rivera, the fullback, and well covered. Danny Stinson getting in the passing lane. Eamon Eglin on the coverage, 3rd and goal.
Yeah, disrupting the patch right here. And here could be a pretty big win right here for Carolina, right? If they can somehow keep them from getting out of the end zone here, especially having the punt, and they almost had the ball to start this drive, Canton did, almost inside of field goal range. So it'll be a huge win if they can come up with a stop here.
Pass over the middle. That one's complete. Got it back to Twinscrew, but short of the goal line. Little reminder that he was short by Hatley. 4th down.
Yeah, here it is. Forcing a field goal by Mr. Rob Ems right here. That's got to be considered a win by Carolina right here, right? Seeing how, their punt, I guess they had wind in their face, kind of had it dropped it short, but the defense kind of did the best they could right there.
20th field goal on the season for Ems is up and through. Canton's drive resulting in points. If you are new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. And Gerald, we got the minor league starting back up pretty soon. Schedule just released the other day, posted on the SFL website. So even though this season's starting to come to a close, a couple more weeks of the regular season and some playoffs, but a whole new season of the minor league getting ready to get started.
Like some minor league round robin action is what
sure
I hear.
is.
And then I'm trying to get the commission to bring it to the pros. Double elimination.
There you go.
Playoff. Bring it to the pros.
We'll get T-shirts made up.
Everybody needs a second chance.
Just because we lost once doesn't mean we should be done. Carolina has the ball at their own 20. South pitches this one down to McBride. McBride breaks her first tackle, gets the first down. You can Finally rest easy. Carolina's gotten their first down of the ball game. Cross that off the list for them as well. Nice run by McBride.
Right, and they did it on the first play of the drive right there. So
that's it.
Looked like Ike just wanted to hit somebody. She's like, I'm not going out of bounds, even though I may have stepped out of bounds. I'm hit a guy anyway.
I'm still going to lower the shoulder anyhow.
It's been almost 2 weeks since she's hit the field. She's ready to just plow through some people.
Well rested, pumped up, ready to go. First down and 10 at the 32. 5-step drop for South. Throws. Oh, ball tipped and incomplete.
Was it tipped or was he hit?
Oh, Volt. Oh, Volt getting at least the camera attention. Watch the replay over here on our replay screen.
I think he might have got bumped or something. He may have got his hand up. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I think use the old helmet. Way to use your head, D lineman.
Yep.
Bounced it right off the top of his head. Just use your head.
Yeah, just jump up and put your face in the way.
2 receivers to the top, 2 tight ends to the bottom. Single back in the backfield. Very short drop by South. Not having any success so far in the passing game. One up top, once again well covered. And Matt South now 1 of 6 on the day for 2 yards.
Yeah, that's actually really, really good defense right there. But some may even thought, hey, look, that might have been a little bit of a PI call. The guy is, who knows?
Looked like just tight coverage.
We've seen worse PI ones call for ticky-tacks. We've seen, ones that were right legit. Maybe that's the SFL, refs union making it right overall.
South once again has his pass tipped, and it's incomplete. Chase Earl, his intended target, and this defense has been all over the place, Gerald. They did get a first down on that drive, but then nothing else afterwards. Punting now from their own 32.
Well, we know that they don't give up a whole lot of yards, of being number 2 in the league in yards allowed, right? And they actually don't turn to too many points. They are actually number 2 in points allowed. So, I mean, they're no stranger in not letting it in. I think in the past when Canton has struggled in games, they haven't been able to put points up themselves. So here they are at 3 points, and we're gonna see how it's going to happen, right? We know that their bread and butter is actually Robert Johnson on the ground, and if they're going to struggle to get him going, Scorer Patterson has not been the Scorer Patterson of seasons past,
right?
When he was out in San Diego, but we'll see if they can get it going on the ground. They got to do something through the air.
Andrew Gibson with 7 yards on that punt return gets it up to the 42-yard line. First down and 10 for the Canton Classics. Empty backfield now. Patterson to throw. Goes up top, and that one is incomplete. Threw another laser beam. Got quite the arm, but was not able to connect with his target. Going back to Toronto Rivera again. Second drive in a row, he's thrown it to the fullback. I think he actually did it on the first drive, too.
Yeah.
Fullback's not really known for the hands, Gerald, when you have 5 wide receivers and a tight end that can all catch, not to mention 2 halfbacks.
Well, unless your name's Cam Collier down Louisiana, he catches quite a few passes. But on that, I was surprised they actually threw it deep right there because Carolina gave him a ton of room up underneath.
Go to Robert Johnson this time, but Danny Stinson combines with Monty Wyatt. Gets the tackle, 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, here it is. This is what Carolina wants to be in right here, right? Just given, how few times, Scorer Patterson's thrown the ball last week, and just his 12 attempts that he made in Canton, he actually 2 of those out of his 12 attempts were actually picks. So, that interception to attempt ratio was not too good, at least for last week, even though they came away with the win.
Patterson 2 of 6 so far in this one. Pass number 7 coming up, being chased down from behind. Never mind, won't be pass number 7. Tries to run for it. He'll only gain 2 yards on that scramble. 4th down. So if you are a fan of punters, this is the game for you. Because don't look now. There's Charles Brown, punter for Canton.
Charles Brown is
Charles Brown.
Can we call him Charlie Brown? It's similar.
That might be trademarked.
Yeah, maybe. There got to be somebody out there named Charlie Brown.
I would assume. Punt returned from about the 11-yard line up to the 16. Harish Prasad was hoping for a little more there. You can see a little, darn it, got tackled.
Yeah, he's just, I don't know why. Maybe he's upset that he didn't get hurt. He's infamous for just laying quite motionless on the field at sometimes. Maybe it's like, darn,
He's been known to be injured in his day.
Yeah, but they don't need that if they want to be, productive, because he was one of the guys that actually caught that pass inside the 5, before the bye week to get them that huge win over Florida. So they need that guy out there.
They sure do. 2 backs now in the backfield. Like McBride gets the pitch, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Injury on the play. It looks like somebody laying motionless there. Doug Evans.
He's a scrub.
Slow to get up.
Maybe he's a scrub.
Yeah. One of the backup corners.
Yeah, we're not seeing him as a guy who actually gets paid to be out on the field.
Gain of 2. Second down and 8.
See that? Look, and that's what Ike wants to do. Just
hurt people.
Yeah. She probably has a guy following her around at all the road games with body bags.
Yep.
Oh,
this time Hattori Hanzo gets the carry. Trying to see what damage he can do. 3rd down and 5 now after a gain of 3. King Enderman in the chat says, "Oh snap!" Well, that might be what happened to number 33. A little snap here, a little pop there.
He was face down.
Yeah.
Who knows?
In the injury tent on the sideline, we most likely won't see him again. Mike McBride carries it on 3rd down and 5, gains 3. And once again, Carolina is going to be on to hunt. For all the league highlights, photo galleries, major and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more, check out the league's website at simulationfl.net, presented by Football Shift. Stay up to date and explore our past, present, and future. Canton gets it up to the 40-yard line. Back and forth we go. Let's talk about the drive summaries real quick, Gerald. As we look at them, there are now 7 completed drives. 6 of 7 drives are punts.
Well, if we're looking at it right, it was Carolina punt, Canton punt, Carolina punt, Canton field goal, Carolina punt, Canton punt, Carolina punt. So I guess we're due up for a field goal.
Yeah.
Look, so it just seems that that's the way it may go.
Let's see if there will be a pattern to this. Robert Johnson has his best run of the ball game so far. Gets 9.9 on that carry, his long of the day.
And I think this is where like the success is going to come for Canton right here, right? It's in the run game. They've shown it all season when they've been at their best. They've been running quite often and being successful in the run, right? But they also look, and this is not saying that they don't need to throw the ball, but they also got to be pretty strategic with how they throw the ball as well, right? Get those timely, passes in there, and once you get the run game going, it should open up the pass.
Johnson takes the handoff again, gets the first down, and a little bit more into Carolina territory. First down and 10. Classics.
Yeah, and here they are. I mean, they're already in Carolina territory. It's like, man, they playing some weird field position battle.
Yeah.
Where they're playing nearly at midfield going into Carolina territory most of the game so far.
The battle of which punter has the stronger leg. Patterson up top, and that one incomplete. Davidson Joseph was really the only one in the area. I think Ryan Owens may have ran the wrong route there or just not on the same page as Patterson.
Something happened there, and Davidson Joseph had himself a chance to kind of turn their fortune around and actually not end up having field position inside their own 20 to start a drive, but wasn't able to corral it.
That was odd. Offset eye in the backfield. Johnson hit behind the line of scrimmage, breaks a couple of tackles past the 30. No one's going to catch him. 10-5 touchdown Canton. So the pattern kind of continues. Scoring drives every 4 drives.
Well, and then you just give it, like I said, that was the key to success right there. It's giving it to Robert Johnson.
Yeah.
And he breaks it off for 43 yards, breaks a couple tackles right there in the backfield, hurdles a guy, and then next thing you know, he breaks another one coming on the end, and there was no safeties on the back end. I know they're looking to stop the run right there, but you're going to have something on the back end. And Carolina actually has one of the, their best tackler on their team is Monte White with 74 tackles, 17th best in the league. I'd like to keep that guy on the back end right there to be able to make those tackles right there.
Nice run by Robert Johnson. Gets it into the end zone for the 19th time on the season. 20th time if you count his one receiving touchdown that he's got. Adding on to his impressive season so far.
They haven't had, no team has had a drive over 6 plays.
Nope.
And the scoring drives for Canton were, which is the only scoring drive, was with 6 plays on the first field goal and 4 on this last TD. Carolina hasn't had a drive. They have 2 drives of 5 plays.
Yeah, I was going to say they only have a couple of first downs in the ball game, and those first downs did not lead to anything else. Now down 2 scores here late in quarter number 1. They've got to get something going on offense. Matt South so far has only completed 1 pass for 2 yards. Ike McBride, 5 carries, 23 yards. Here's carry number 6, met at the line of scrimmage, wrapped up, brought down for no gain.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to that pitch route, trying to get them off guard on defense, but credit to the Canton defense. I mean, they're getting guys to the spot and being able to, get to Ike McBride, and even though the first guy doesn't quite make the tackle, the other players are able to come back by, and while she's off balance, they're going to bring her down.
South gets the pass off to McBride. McBride turning upfield, gets 8 yards on the play. Sets him up with a 3rd down and 2, stepping out of bounds. And 3rd and 2, much more manageable than some of the situations they found themselves in earlier in the game.
Yeah, they've been in a lot of 3rd and medium right here. Like if you want to run with Ike McBride, here's the situation to do with 2 yards to go.
Well, that's going to have to wait till the second quarter because 1 is already in the books. All Canton so far, 10-0. Classics out in front of the Carolina Skyhawks. You are watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. I'm Mike Daggs. He is Gerald Smith. Ike McBride, Tristan Hatley with us in the stats truck. Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios on production. Thank you for joining us all this evening. Appreciate y'all being here. Watching us live from Canton, Ohio, home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Harish Prasad in motion up to the top on 3rd down and 2. South to throw on 3rd down. Quick pass, and that one is going to go. Hattori Hanzo off to the races. Flag on the play is likely roughing the passer, so this one's probably going to stick. Touchdown, Skyhawks.
And that's going to be a 72-yard pass.
Wow.
And the crazy thing about it is, Canton on that right there, even myself, thought that it would have been an Ike McBride run. Canton thought the same and decided to bring the house. And they fooled everybody and just tossed it out to Hattori Hanzo. And credit to Matt South for taking a hit and still delivering the ball. And all Hattori Hanzo had to do was catch it and just jog in the end zone.
I wonder if Matt South even aimed or just saw all 11 coming and said, somebody catch this, and just kind of tossed it up.
Like, why not? Like it didn't matter who caught the ball.
Yep.
Is that with everybody rushing in like that at Canton? And I don't know if you would really do that in that situation. Hey, but they sold out against Ike McBride right there because they know, Carolina was struggling to even move the ball consistently.
Well, Carolina finally getting some points on the board. That couldn't have come too soon. Yeah, you never want to be down 2 scores for too long. 1-score game keeps you right in it. So even though the first quarter was all Canton, Gerald, I mean, we looked at that drive summary a few times, and wow, just punt after punt after punt for Carolina. Finally, the first drive of the second quarter, 3 plays, 80 yards, a 72-yard touchdown pass to Hattori Hanzo. Carolina back in it.
Completely different type of 3 and out right there.
Sure was, yeah. Still 3 and out. 3 and back to the sideline they go. Robert Johnson looking fresh as a daisy. Gains about 11 on that first down carry and gets a first down off of it.
Okay, that brings up a question. How fresh are daisies?
Well, I guess it depends on the daisy. You know, a relatively recently grown one would be fresh.
They're fresh, but
Yeah. Is a picked daisy still considered fresh? As long as it's not like wilting?
freshly picked,
Right.
like an apple. Freshly picked apple.
We went and picked apples.
Best apples ever. Honeycrisps are amazing.
Oh, so good. Anyway, Johnson takes the pitch. Oh, doesn't even get touched for the first 5 yards. Breaks a tackle, gets the first down, stays in bounds, and finally tackled from behind by Stinson. But he was doing that Tecmo zigzag right there, trying to stay on his feet.
He had to. Tecmo zigzag to get himself on the sideline right there and kind of tight-roping it in a way. I think a lot of the Carolina defense thought they may have pushed him out right there as he goes right there, and they just kind of almost gave up a little bit.
Yeah,
but he
like,
kept
wait,
his
no
feet in
whistle?
bounds and kept going.
Yeah. They didn't hear the whistle, so they're like, oh, crap. We still and see Carolina, they think that he did step out of bounds, so flag has been thrown by head coach Harish Prasad. We'll see what the review shows. I couldn't really tell from here, but we will take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at GoRetroid.com, and I can't see his foot.
Oh, I think he did. There.
There, yeah. About 2 yards
Still
past the
first
line
down,
to gain.
but-
Still a first down, but they might bring it back a
That's
few
about
yards.
10-plus yards. I mean, why not bring it back right there? I'd challenge that too. Especially in this game.
Yeah, player did indeed step out of bounds. The ruling on the field will be overturned. So Carolina keeps their timeout, but if I'm not mistaken, it'll still be a Canton first down. Crowd not happy about it.
Yep.
I think that was the right call.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, going back to the Tecmo reference, I think he zigged when he probably should have zagged on that one and it could keep himself in bounds. Come on, Robert Johnson. Everybody knows the Tecmo moves.
Anyway. He zigged when he should have zagged. Oh, my goodness. Johnson right back at it. Hit behind the line again. And this time, Phil Hall wasn't going to have it. He says, no, you're done breaking tackles. You're going down.
Yeah, and I mean, when you got 75 yards after the first hit out of your 83, you better be sure that somebody brings you down after the first hit, because it seems like that's what he does with, it's his most damage. It's like he doesn't really start playing until somebody hits him.
Patterson just stands in the pocket all day and is able to find Taranio Rivera. Finally connecting with him. He's thrown it to him a few times. Finally connecting with him on that one.
Yeah, and that was I believe it was actually the third target right there, but his first catch on the day. And he actually corrals it in. It's usually been the Mike Twinscrew show.
Only the third completed pass by Patterson on the day so far. First down and 10 from the Carolina 38-yard line. Patterson to throw once again. This time the pass is broken up. Tried to hit Ryan Owens. And a flag on the play. Pass interference called. That's going to be an automatic first down at the Carolina 30-yard line, an 8-yard pass interference penalty.
Yeah, it actually puts him in field goal range there.
Boy.
I don't know if I saw that.
Incidental contact there. I don't know.
He was
looking at the ball. I mean, if you're playing the ball.
Mojo McLean was in his spot, right, eyeing up the cornerback. Receiver ran into him.
Yeah.
Is that pass interference? I don't know.
If
I don't
anything,
think so.
it's pass interference on the offense. If you're running into a defender, pushing them out of the way.
Well, I mean,
there should have been a no call. That flag should have stayed in
been
his
a no
pocket.
call, right? It's just one of those things where, hey, look, I mean, there's no penalty on maintaining your space.
Yep.
It's not shoulder checking the guy as he's coming across.
Anywho, Patterson over the middle into double coverage and actually gets the completion. Went back to Owens. Got the catch this time. First down and 10.
Yeah, Ryan Owens coming up with a big catch in traffic, too. We haven't seen too many of these catches at all game from really any of the wide receiver. Ryan Owens and Score Patterson throws it in, and he just one-hand catches it, snatches it out of the air, and gets them in nice range. I believe they're like inside the 10 or in the red zone or something like that.
Oh, they're down in the red zone just outside the 10-yard line. They actually can get a first down without scoring by a matter of a foot. Robert Johnson gets the carry, breaks some tackles, heads towards the pylon, stiff arms the defender, and into the end zone. That's a power run right there. Touchdown, Classics.
Yeah, he power runned it right there. Stiff armed the guy, and as he stiff arming a guy, he just knocks another guy down by pushing the other guy down, and the other guy meets him at a 3, and he just knocks him out of the way too. I don't know if I've ever seen a guy stiff arm a guy into another guy who knocked down the guy.
Hey, it worked.
That's like how do you say, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He just knocked out 2 guys with 1 stiff arm. Wish my left arm was that strong. You're punching people in the chest like that while running.
Laura Parkinson in the chat says, so beautiful. I'm assuming that she's referring to the Jack Wall fans that they showed up in the stands. You see the shirtless men that had Jack Wall's name printed across their bare chests.
Well, they're definitely embracing the national day that we just found out earlier today.
It is indeed National No Bra Day, and
they are embracing it.
They are embracing it indeed, and supporting a fellow tight end. Hashtag throw it to the tight end, Jack Wall, being represented there. Enough of our nonsense. We've got an update from Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios.
Thank you, Mike. Jacksonville's in Queen City tonight. Well, actually, we'll come back to me. My bad, guys.
All good. We'll circle back to Cameron Irvine once we're able to. So 1st down and 10 for the Skyhawks. Gerald, they finally were able to punch one into the end zone, and Canton responds by getting it back into the end zone themselves. So once again, down by 10. See how they respond here. They go back to Hattori Hanzo, this time on the ground. 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, and Canton wasted no time, quote unquote, getting those points back where maybe they thought was a mistake or something like that. So now Carolina, right, here they are. They're going to have to show that they can actually make the drive down there and not, look, there's nothing wrong. Hey, you put points on the board no matter how you got to do it. But they're going to have to get down there and actually put together a drive together to be able to do it instead of something that might have been considered a blown coverage.
McBride hit in the backfield that time and tackled for a loss on the play. 3rd down and 9 now, and this is the situation that they were finding themselves in earlier on in the ball game. 3rd down and medium to 3rd down and long. This one obviously counting as the latter.
Yeah, and let's hope in the last couple of 3rd down, 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, they handed off Ike McBride, but look like you're thrown here.
South to pass, decides to take off and run with it. Oh, gets the 1st down and keeps on going. Matt South with a run.
I don't
move the chains however you can.
That was really surprising because you don't see that happen too often from a quarterback. I thought he was going to roll out, either get hit or even slide, but he actually put his head down to try and run somebody over. He had to, I don't know, maybe the turf monster he was trying to run over because there was nobody in front of him. But he got it and ran down and picked up the 1st down for about 16 yards.
Mark Gronick, the linebacker for Canton, was literally just standing there as he ran by because I think he was in disbelief. Like, where's he going? Oh, crap, for a 1st down. McBride breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage just outside the reach of the defenders and gets a nice run up the right sideline.
Ike McBride really, really bruised her up at back. But she looked like she turned on the Jets as much as she can turn the Jets on, and had the Canton defense chasing her down as she gets her team across midfield into Canton territory.
1st down and 10 from the Canton 39-yard line. Short pass over the middle. That one results in a flag as well, trying to get it to Vince DeSantis. The pass interference call on the defense. Back to SFL Studios we go. Cameron Irvine, the game break is ready now, I hear.
Thank you, Mike. Well, offensive lineman bailing out their rookie quarterback tonight for Jacksonville. Kenny Slider gets the start. He's going to throw an interception until an O-lineman pops the returner, and then another offensive lineman recovers it, and Jacksonville maintains possession. 10-7, Queen City. Back to you in camp.
Big man football there. That was quite a hit.
That was. The Buffet Boys to the rescue. Love it.
Second down and 7 now for Carolina.
They're now within field goal range. Either way it goes, right? As long as they don't give up some crazy sack or turn the ball over, they are in a position to at least knock it down to a one-score game.
Vittori Hanzo with a 3-yard gain on that last play. Pitch to McBride this time, hit behind the line. The marker with a loss of one, another TFL for this Canton defense. They've had a few of them so far.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing the run really, really well on Ike McBride, right? Limited to her, large gains to, a very, very minimal. So here's a 3rd and long. We're going to see how they approach it.
South rolls out to the left, throws over the middle, one-handed catch by Chase Earl. Gets the completion and gets the first down.
Chase Earl, little known fact, he's like the all-time leading reception leader in Louisiana in franchise history. But hey, he takes his talents to Carolina, and here he is, one-handing balls and getting his team inside the red zone.
First down and 10. Right about the 13-yard line. South to McBride. McBride breaks 1 tackle, gains 2. Second down and 8. Canton Classics head coach Ray McDonaldson, the Super Bowl 30 champion, 6-time NFL Pro Bowl selection, and University of Georgia Hall of Famer, now has merchandise and memorabilia for sale. Ray is a 17-year NFL veteran with the Indianapolis and Baltimore Colts, Seattle Seahawks, Dallas Cowboys, as well as the league's first African-American to start at center. You can own a piece of history today at millions.co/Ray Donaldson football or alumniautographs.com/Ray Donaldson. 3rd down and 7 now after a gain of a yard.
This could be huge for Carolina right here, right? They can somehow pick up this first down, get the 7 needed, or, they're right at the 10-yard line. Why not get 3 more if you're going to throw it that far? But we're going to see what they're going to be able to produce right here.
7-step drop, South, end zone, tipped and picked off. Connor Darien gets the pick. Flag on the play. I think that was, probably a late hit. Oh, personal. So the face mask call.
On Carolina after the tackle.
Yeah, so, not only do you throw a pick, but it's a touchback plus 15.
Yeah, I think it was a ball placed in it was almost like a 50-50 ball. I think it was underthrown. If they were throwing it toward the corner of the end zone, I think it gives Chase Earl a better chance to pull that down. But, very, very good play by the DB right there to be able to knock it up and be able to catch it himself. And then with the penalty added, they're not even at the 20. Frustration penalty from Chase Earl right there, getting so close to the end zone and not being able to convert. Gets Canton out to the 35.
So not Robert Johnson. It's Toronto Rivera getting the carry this time. Gets the first down for Canton. So still a 2-score ball game as Canton gets the ball back. That was the one thing that you said could not happen, Gerald. They didn't listen.
No. No, didn't. Like, my own team don't even follow my advice, so why should anybody else's?
Why should anybody listen to you? 3-receiver set on first down from the 46. There's Robert Johnson. Just zigging and zagging between defenders, not even touched until he steps out of bounds. A huge run by Johnson gets him in Carolina territory, just on the outside of field goal range.
Well, with that blocking that he had, it's easy to get you the zigs and zags down right there because his blocking was right on point, a hat on a hat, and then you had to depend on Monte Wyatt to chase him out of bounds. And now Canton is right on the edge of field goal range right now in one play.
2 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in the first half. Robert Johnson now with 115 yards on the ground. Head coach Harish Prasad blaming Gerald for all his woes.
Yeah, sorry, Harish. Hope you still love me.
Johnson hit at the line and brought down. Danny Stinson with the tackle, gain of 1. 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, Carolina can kind of get themselves in a situation right here, right? I think it's right on the fringe of field goal range right here. Rob Amos is one of the stronger kickers out in the league as well. But they can force maybe a couple of tackles for loss of just 1 yard each. It'll kind of push them, to force them to kick a long one.
Patterson checks it down to Johnson, who's able to gain 3 on the play, 3rd down and 6. Saw Rob Ems with a field goal earlier on in the ball game. That one was through for his 20th on the season. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Canton out in front and in control of the football. See if they're able to add even more points on. And once again, Gerald, it would be a huge stop for Carolina to at least hold them to a field goal here.
Yeah, I think I'd look for Toronto Rivera right here. In this formation, they've typically thrown to him.
5 receivers set. Patterson throws over the middle, and this time it's complete. Jack Wall, hashtag throw it to the tight end. Only the one time, though. Wall down on the play. And he's out. Second injury that we've seen for Canton.
Yeah, well, they need to get some pickle juice and orange slices at halftime to hopefully get some of these guys back in there. But Jack Wall does his job, get his team inside the 10.
See if we can see a injury update on Jack Wall, maybe at the half. Four receiver set now for the Classics. They're going to pitch this one up to Johnson. Look at that blocking, man. Walked into the end zone untouched. Robert Johnson with another touchdown.
And it was a bit too easy. When you got blocking like that, it makes it tremendously easy. It's just right there on a pitch out route. Pitch out route. What is that? Just on a straight pitch out.
Yeah.
And when you got your wide receivers just blocking guys down the field like that, it just makes it tremendously easy.
Laura Parkinson updates us now in the chat. Gerald, the shirtless guys are going to put their shirts at half-mast in honor of Jack Wall's injury.
Yeah, it almost looked like they're gonna cover a little bit. Yeah, it's almost like might as well put the brassieres back on at that point.
6 plays, 65 yards. Another touchdown for Canton. Out in front, 24-7. Here at home tonight. And they will also get the ball to start the second half. So Carolina with 1:51, all 3 timeouts. They need to try to score on this one, Gerald, because they're going to be giving the ball back to Canton here very soon.
Yeah, they got to do something because it's just they've had, and that was their best drive. It's kind of hard to say like, hey, their best drive, resulted in an interception, but that was their best drive. I know they got some points on the board, but some might call it, hey, a blown coverage and stuff like that got them their 7 points. But that was their best sustained drive, and it just kind of fell apart with the interception in the end zone. So I mean, look, they got a minute and 46 seconds to try and get themselves down the field and get some points. Right, go in a half with some positive momentum. Even though you got to kick the ball back to Canton, you can actually go into halftime with some positive momentum and reduce this down to a 2-score lead instead of 3.
Try to at least get 40 yards on this drive if they can. Like McBride getting it started with a gain of 8. 40 yards would get him just into the edge of field goal range for Malone Brown. There is a stiff breeze at the back of Carolina right now. Some of the kickoffs have gone out of the back of the end zone. And we also saw Carolina punt into the wind in the first quarter. The punt only went about 20 yards.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It was not good. Yeah.
No.
High formation now on 2nd down and 2. McBride hit in the backfield again. And another loss of 1. Timeout called by Carolina so they can regroup for this 3rd down and 3.
Yeah. You know what I'd like to see here? I would like to see Carolina run almost like a 2-minute tempo type offense right here just to see what they can do, right? Sometimes just a change of tempo can get some momentum on your side and get yourself in a rhythm. I mean, I know they got 2 timeouts, right? And we're probably somewhere around, just above a minute. But sometimes going in a tempo offense can change the way the offense flows. Look at that.
South to Chase
Run it
Earl.
again.
The one-handed catch, they're going to call a timeout. And I agree with you, Gerald. After that completion with that set they had on the field, I would have gone right back to the line and kept on going, saved those timeouts.
Yeah, because, I mean, running in there, traditional type offense, huddling up and all that stuff, I mean, they just haven't had a whole lot of success in doing it, right? Hey, if you want to run some tempo and Matt South doesn't see what he wants, right? I mean, he can still either run or kind of, throw it out of bounds or something like that, right? So just run tempo to see how their defense reacts to the offense that you're running.
McBride gets the completion, gains only a yard. They will burn their final timeout now, and that's definitely one that personally I would have saved, so that when you get down to field goal range, you at least have the ability to throw the ball within the field of play and not have to work the sidelines to preserve the clock.
Right, and they could have done that anyway, right? Just run a little bit of a tempo type offense, and look, there's nothing wrong with the set they're coming out in, but they just got to be able to get the guys open. And get it to the right guys. But I particularly like that first set that they had lined up in when they completed that pass to Chase Earl and just keep running it.
3 down at the bottom. South throws that direction, and that one is incomplete. 3rd down and 9.
I'm not even sure if Ryan Owens even saw the ball coming his way.
Yeah, I don't think anybody actually even turned around there.
Yeah, and maybe as he was looking at it, it's like, man, I didn't turn around soon enough. Like, I didn't realize that I was
he's like, oh, you
open
threw
enough to do it, right? So, but,
Yeah, I didn't even look. They have 4 receiver set here on 3rd down and 9 outside of field goal range. South up top. That one is incomplete. Tried to get it to Riley Quintero, and they're going to need to punt this one away. Not only that, they're giving Canton time to possibly respond, especially with a halfback like Robert Johnson that's always a threat to take at any time.
Yeah, it's way too much time on there, right? And I think, allowing Canton, especially after that first pass play that they had, allowing Canton to regroup and kind of call, a defensive play out of the huddle, I think it actually worked to, Carolina's disadvantage in a way, right? Because they weren't allowed to kind of catch them off guard and get them into looking at something that they wasn't comfortable with. And when you went there and you kind of reset, it just allows them to take a deep breath and kind of call a little bit of better play. I'm just thinking, hey, look, try and get them on them heels, and have them, force them to actually defend what you think you might do well. And I would have just tried the tempo, just to try and get the offense in a rhythm, man. Sometimes I do. You see it all across football. Sometimes you go quick pace and, a tempo, no huddle offense, and it actually works out and actually gets some rhythm going in your offense.
Scar Patterson to throw on 1st down, trying to get some big yards on the first play, and does. Ryan Owens gets the completion, and a timeout called by the Classics. Are you liking the game so far? Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is nobody else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action, which is coming back soon, and help the channel grow through your support. So it doesn't look like Canton's ready to just let this one run out, Gerald. They're definitely going for some points, back-to-back completions to Ryan Owens.
No, why not? And when you got the momentum like they have, right, they've done scored 14 unanswered points, going in here right now, and they're like, hey, we might be able to double dip if we go down there and get some kind of a point. We might be able to flip that into, 3 before half and 3 after half, or even total, between 2 possessions with giving Carolina none, could result into 10 or 14 points if they play it right.
Great defensive play by Carolina, getting the open field tackle and forcing Canton to burn their second timeout, 1 remaining. Still outside field goal range. This is about the same position on the field that Carolina was in when their drive fizzled out. Three receivers set. Kane Hunter in motion up to the top. Patterson throws it short and nearly goes the other way. Skippy Curtis jumps right in front of it. She just can't haul that one in. Oh, she'd still be running, Gerald.
Yes, and that would have cut it down to 2 scores right there, because I don't think anybody would have caught her with sweep the feet she is. But at least Carolina shuts down the drive and keeps them from actually scoring points right here. And who knows what Carolina's going to do with these last, 25 seconds or so.
Charles Brown punts this one away. Fair catch called for back at the 19-yard line. So couldn't get in field goal range on the last drive. Only 26 seconds, no timeouts. Not expecting a lot here. I'd say hand it off to Ike McBride, see what she can do with it. And if she doesn't break this one away, maybe just go to the half, regroup, come back out on the other side, see if your defense can get you the ball back.
Yeah, I think Carolina's defense is doing about as best as it can do. I mean, they're giving their offense tons of chances to, try and mount a drive together and do something.
McBride breaks the first couple of tackles and then is brought down at the 22-yard line. Looks like they will be content to roll into halftime.
And it's just the Canton defense is swarming right now, right? Ike is, breaking a tackle or two near the line of scrimmage and sometimes getting hit in the backfield, but she just isn't able to get past multiple people just hitting her at the same time.
That will bring the first half of action to a close. Canton 24, Carolina 7. Here as we head into the half and take a peek at the first half stats. Gerald has been all Canton so far in this one. The one Carolina touchdown coming on a quick pass out to Hattori Hanzo when Canton was going for broke on the run stop. Your thoughts on the first half so far?
Well, it's been a defensive performance from Canton, right? And just Robert Johnson, going with the status quo, him being the actual bell cow of the offense and, being able to break off long runs and everything else to the tune of 3 touchdowns. And having Scar Patterson, right, being pretty efficient throwing.
Yeah.
He already, threw his attempts are over. What his attempts were last week, which was 12, and he's already at 16 and a half today.
Robert Johnson still so far the player of the half, but yes, the stats for Patterson definitely better than his last outing. He went 6 of 12 for 167 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Meanwhile, Robert Johnson 44 rushing attempts, 147 yards on that game. Update on Jack Wall and Evans, both of them have been ruled out. Jack Wall with a fractured arm. Going to use the Craggle, if you will. Ye old super glue. He'll be back next week.
No, it's the Craggle.
The Craggle?
The Craggle. If anyone out there watching this has no idea what the Craggle is or where the reference is from, shame on you.
Shame on that. I'm not even going to tell them where it's from now.
Neither.
You don't know, then you don't know.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Daggs. He's Gerald Smith. Cameron Irvine, our producer, back at SFL Studios. Ike McBride, Tristan Hatley, keeping track of the numbers for us this evening. It takes a village to produce an SFL game, or at least, the 5 of us. It's a small village.
Yeah. Well, how many people do you need
to like have it qualify as a village? I mean, 5's really like a household,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Can you have a one-house village?
It takes a house. No, a village is multiple houses. I don't know. I need to look that up.
We really don't. It's not that
There's
important.
villages up here, and there's like tons of people in villages.
Oh, yeah. Anywho, first down and 10 for the Classics. Patterson, first half stats, 10 to 16, 142 yards. Robert Johnson on the ground with about 128 on 15 carries. 3 touchdowns, though. That's what it's all about. Rivera gets another carry this time, good for a gain of 3. So what does Carolina have to do to try to climb back into this one? They're down 3 scores.
Well, for them to get back in it, they're actually going to have to produce points on offense. When you are not able to produce points on offense, there's no way you have any chance of winning a game. I feel like their defense has given their offense plenty of opportunities to put it on the board. And whoa.
Well, Scar Patterson thinks he can do his best Robert Johnson impression. I recommend just handing it to Robert Johnson and letting him do a Robert Johnson impression.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what that was.
The old quarterback sneak.
Well, I think you heard us not give him too much love at halftime, so it's like, I need to show them something.
It's like, well, watch what I can do. 3rd down and 5. Carolina with an opportunity to get a stop here, and they do, as Skippy Curtis jumps in front of the route, intended for Owens, and a quick 3 and out for Canton. It's just what the doctor ordered for the Skyhawks.
Yeah, and Skippy's like, you know what? I can't grab it with my hands. Let me just, run in the way of the ball and let it hit me in the back. Maybe to stick to one of my numbers and I can run away with it.
Jack Wall calling for the tush push on that last play, Gerald, but he can't do it right now. His arm's broken.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, you can't do that. I seen he said that on the sideline that maybe some of his gummies had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm. It could be. So Carolina back out on the field on offense. Matt South, not the numbers you're looking for on the first half. 6 of 15, 117 yards, touchdown, a pick, quarterback rating, as you can see there, 62.4. Only completing 40% of his passes. He's got to get that turned around. Ike McBride doing decent, 15 carries, 57 yards, averaging almost 4 yards per carry. Need more production out of the offense as a whole. McBride getting a chance here, and that's what we've been seeing all game long, Gerald.
See, and I don't even think some of the things she's doing, she's not even having, like one of her blockers out in front of her, which is Hattori Hanzo. It's either pitches to the side, and it leaves her there kind of on an island to be able to make these plays herself, right? And typically she could run through a guy or two, but any more than that, especially when they're swarming her, it just hasn't been successful.
Pass over the right-hand side to Chase Earl is complete, and they're able to move the chains on that one. First down for Carolina. Week 12 continues tomorrow with monster showdowns, Florida and D.C., and Houston, Vancouver, plus Sunday's must-win tussle in the Central Division between Sioux Falls and Tulsa. For the complete Week 12 slate, you can head over to our website at simulationfl.net to plan your weekend.
We're planning weekends around the SFL now?
Absolutely. Like McBride hitting the backfield for a loss. 2-yard loss on the play. It looks like Kevin Brackett credited with the TFL.
Yeah, and that's not the direction that Carolina really wants to go in right here, right? And it just seems like I don't know, man. It seems like they're just really trying to hammer down. Here's another run with Ike McBride, and she doesn't have any lead blockers there.
No, right into the waiting arms of Brackett. And on that previous one, not to call anybody out, but Riley Quintero was responsible for blocking Brackett, and Brackett basically just sidestepped him and said, "No, I got a tackle for a loss to go make," and ran into the backfield. Quintero just chasing him down from behind.
Yeah, Quintero throws what we call a no-hitter in the blocking world.
Yeah, pretty much. South over the middle. Almost
dropped.
Complete to Earl. But it's well defended. Pass broken up by Connor Darien. And this drive coming to a halt for Carolina.
All too quick, too. So here they are, right? They're able to make a stop and actually force, Canton to punt, but they get the ball right back, and they're just not able to move the ball at all, right? Very, very low completion percentage from Matt South and, McBride. I feel like, McBride's not getting the help she needs from the blocking, right? She's her own, she's a running back, which also doubles as a lead blocker apparently this game, because it's just not, it's not helping her out, right? They got to do something, from a blocking perspective to be able to help her out, to try and help her be successful, because if she can get, one or two more blocks on every play, I think Carolina could be looking a little bit different on the scoreboard.
So Canton back out on offense, in control of the game here. Looking to add even more points onto the board. And, Gerald had talked about a moment ago the must-win game between Sioux Falls and Tulsa in the Central Division. The Central Division still tightly contested as all four teams just about at the same record. Indianapolis out in front at number 1 with a 4-6 record. So they're in first place with a losing record. Minnesota, Sioux Falls, and Tulsa all at 3-6. So Sioux Falls and Tulsa facing off to see who can get win number 4, and we'll see what happens in that division. It definitely benefits the Central Division winner, the results of this game and the rest of the season, really, for Canton, as it benefits the Central Division winner for Canton to have a better record than the 12th best record. I'm not going to try to break down the whole scenario of how that playoff situation works, but ultimately, if you're a fan of the Central Division, or a Central Division team, I should say, it benefits your team for Canton to come away with a win and have a better record than the 12th best record, which ultimately helps your playoff chances as well. So see what happens as this one continues on. Second down and 12.
Well,
I can't read. Second down and 10.
I think whoever created the rule of whatever it is that you just explained, just made it way difficult for us to say a lot of words,
right,
with absolutely no explanation or resolution. So,
well,
all I got out of that was like, Canton needs to win to help out a whole division.
That's it. If you're a Central Division team, you want Canton to win. That's the resolution here. That's all I got.
Well, what about the people in the same division as Canton?
Well, they want Canton to lose.
Yeah, so no one gets in, not even the Central Division.
Right.
Which opens up a whole big can of worms, an explanation from the league office. I don't envy that.
Third down and 6 coming up. Carolina's defense trying to get another stop. Pass down to the bottom is picked up off the turf. Riley Quintero with the shoestring catch. And they move the chains.
Shoestring catch. I think it was like a blade of grass catch. Like, it almost looked like Scar Patterson did like a no-look pass, because I had no idea who he was throwing the ball to. I thought he was throwing toward the middle of the field the way he was facing, but he threw it a completely other direction where obviously nobody was looking because he was wide open along the sideline.
First down and 10 at the 37-yard line in Carolina territory. High formation in the backfield, halfway through quarter number 3. Johnson hit at the line, breaks a tackle, hit again, breaks another tackle, stays on his feet, but pushed out of bounds after a gain of 3. Second down and 7.
See, and if we're looking at the the difference between these running backs and these running games, you can see what Robert Johnson had right there. Right? He actually had people blocking for him. He was able to break a tackle, and he had time to regain his momentum and then break another tackle before he was chased out of bounds. So, and that's what Canton is doing to Carolina on defense versus what the wow.
Another quarterback sneak for Patterson. That one worked. So, see, he said, no, I don't need to hand it to Johnson. Watch, I got it this time. I mean, credit him. Gaping hole.
That's what blocking will do for you when you got guys like LePancake, Lynch, Adam Chance, and some guy named Girth Lord.
Yeah. Is LePancake French?
Never heard anyone named LePancake. I come from the French area of the United States.
Is it really? Is it the French area? Just because you're from New Orleans?
What? I'm not from New Orleans.
Well, same thing. Listen, for anybody
French.
Oh my God.
In the swamps,
Cajun
man.
French.
That's just like people say we live up in Buffalo. We don't even live near Buffalo. No, we kind of do, but we don't at the same time.
It's true. Yeah, everybody assumes that I'm from Buffalo. I've never lived there once.
Ever.
An hour away. Anywho, Robert Johnson gets the carry. This just in from the stats truck. Like McBride saying that LePancake is a crepe.
Okay, so when you say crepe, I would expect it to be spelled C-R-A-P-E, but instead it's C-R-E-P-E.
Yeah.
That's a crepe.
It's not a crepe. It's not a crepe. Look,
I don't know.
this coming from the culture that has X's that don't sound like X's.
Correct.
It's like the letter X doesn't exist to you. Scar Patterson, another run, another first down.
Well, he's trying to get 100 yards for himself here. He's being a little bit greedy. He's like, they say I can't do it with my arm. I'm going to do it with my legs. I'm going to do the Robert Johnson impression, and he has been. He's picked up 2 first downs.
Well, and it helps. Yeah, I was going to say it helps run the clock as well. So keeping the clock moving here in quarter number 3. First down, Canton from the 13-yard line.
Oh.
Rivera with the carry, gets a gain of 9, and the Carolina defense just hasn't been able to figure out the Canton offense. Everything seems to be working, whether it's a Robert Johnson, Toronto Rivera, or Scar Patterson run.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who gets the ball, apparently, because I think, Carolina is in full-on leak mode, right? They're leaking and have no way of stopping the boat from sinking at this point in time.
6 on the line with her hands in the dirt for Carolina. Johnson hit the line and then saunters his way into the end zone. Touchdown for the Classics, and they're running away with this one.
Right, and that was another well-blocked offensive play right there. Rivera ran out ahead, and then you got, a guy like, Al Dillapre Sr. blocking his guy out on the edge right there, and Tristan Hatley, and when you got Rivera getting to the second and third level and blocking DBs that have no chance of even making a play, I think you're doing something pretty good on offense.
Extra point is up and good, 31-7. Canton out in front, 12 plays, 67 yards, and took darn near half a quarter off the clock to do it. Carolina looking a little disenfranchised on the sideline. They see that scoreboard and know it's a tall task to try to come away with a victory in this one at this point. Now available, free to download. You can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus and emulator for 4K23 in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com, search SFL, and download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. The Retroid is the official console of the Simulation Football League.
Had to slow it down like that, right?
It was more dramatic.
It's dramatic effect.
Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to become a voice actor, and I'm trying to, market my skills right here. McBride down to the outside, and once again, just the blocking not there. Second down and 7. We've got an update from the Jacksonville Queen City game. Cameron Irvine, take it away.
Thank you, Mike. Kenny Slider's first touchdown as an SFL quarterback tonight. It's Connor Weston. Jacksonville running away with it in Queen City, 27-10. Back to you and Gerald in the booth.
See how dramatic that was right there? With the back to you? That was a thing of beauty. Glad I could teach him a thing or two. Like McBride getting a first down carry.
I'm just going to shake my head. I don't see, it doesn't work.
No, that just sounded awkward and weird.
I can't do it, right? So I'm just not that cool, man. We all know how cool Cameron Irvine is.
Well, yeah, with the slick hair,
right? Like I can't. There's no
glistening
way.
Smile.
I can't touch that level of coolness.
He's so pretty. McBride hitting the backfield, breaks a tackle, and this time turns upfield and gets some yards after contact. First down carry for McBride. Minute and a half to go here in the third quarter.
See, and that right there, look, it was kind of well blocked, and then you actually have, one of your players coming out right there, and Vince DeSantis blocking 2 guys, right? She was able to break 1 tackle off, right in the backfield. Vince DeSantis got his man blocked throughout the front. Then he's able to get downfield and make another block. And that's the things that can happen when you get Ike McBride the blocking that she needs.
First and 10 from the 41. McBride still having to break tackles on her own, and the thing that's crazy, she broke that tackle, but then immediately there's another defender right there with no Skyhawks around. In fact, even if that second defender had missed, there was a third one waiting to go.
See, and maybe this is what like the game plan was for Carolina, right? It seems like they're actually making an effort to run toward the weak side which typically keeps you away from, like where most of the players are located on the defensive side, but it just hasn't went well.
4 receiver set for the Skyhawks, and McBride hit in the backfield, tackle for a loss.
See, I actually thought right there on that play, right, the way that they motioned their guy down to that side, I'm thinking, hey, they're going to give Ike that extra blocking down there.
Right.
But then they
run away from their block
to the opposite end. While it did work, it was man coverage, got somebody out there, but you still had a few other DBs right there. When you don't have an extra man there, it makes it tougher to fully block.
Matt South has to throw on this one, 3rd and 7. Pocket collapsing over the middle, wide open. Riley Quintero gets the first down to close out quarter number 3.
And that was his first catch right there. We all know that Carolina does get really, really good whenever Quintero is involved. So for them to even mount a comeback, they're going to need him a lot more involved in the passing offense.
3rd target for Quintero. Chase Earl has 10 targets on the day. Every other wide receiver or tight end, only 4 combined. 3 quarters in the books. 10 minutes remains here from Canton. League Rights coming up.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
I'm Mike Dykes. He's Gerald Smith. The beautiful Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios on production. The also beautiful Ike McBride and Tristan Hatley in the stats truck. Keeping up with the numbers.
Look at the blocking.
Speaking of Ike McBride, there's a nice run there. Yeah, finally some blocking for Ike. Gets a gain of 8.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's a new quarter. Maybe they're like, yeah, let's just stop doing what we were doing and do exactly the opposite. Because she got the blocking she needed right there. Oh, man, did you see Vince DeSantis just pancake a guy? We're going to call that a crepe hit.
Crepe hit?
Crepe?
Crepe something.
Like the pancake?
Yeah.
Call it a crepe, not
right.
like a pancake. Let's just call it a pancake. It'll make sense.
It was crepe-tastic, I know that much. McBride churning, gets the first down. Good to see McBride getting some yards here. However, less than 10 minutes to go, down several scores. At what point do you just sell out and say, okay, South, go nuts?
Well, they got to start with getting points right now, right?
Yeah.
It's still relatively early, and the defense hasn't been bad. They just have been out there too long with no help from the offense.
Yeah, 0 blocking down that way. I don't want to beat a dead horse, Gerald, but that was just tough to see a play like that. I mean, they pitch it and it's just Ike or bust.
Yeah, and she actually takes always like the first hit behind the line of scrimmage. It makes it tough for her to get the yardage that she needs.
And a fumble on the play this time, picked up by Canton, and the situation goes from bad to worse for Carolina as Ike McBride fumbles that one away and loses it. Punched out by King Jamal. Canton takes over at their own 29.
Well, you wanted, Jack Wall wanted the tush push. That was a little bit of a tush push to their advantage because King Jamal came right in there, punched the ball out, and it just went from bad to worse for Carolina.
Connor Darien with the recovery. And Scar Patterson back out onto the field for the Canton offense. Robert Johnson, 21 rushing attempts, has over 150 yards, has 4 touchdowns, Gerald. He's going to try to add some yards on there. Gets credited with a 1-yard gain brought down by Shravan Prasad.
Yeah, and Carolina's just, I don't know what they can do other than just try and force a turnover, punch the ball out, similar to what Canton had done, to get themselves the ball back. I mean, they're going to have to force a turnover and actually make quick scores. I mean, you can't really, it's kind of tough to say, but it's you just can't give it to Ike McBride and expect her to win you the game right now.
Al Dillapre, senior, getting his second catch of the ball game. This one good for a gain of 5. Canton with a 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, and we're actually in a situation where now it's like you would expect Canton to just run with Robert Johnson the whole time. Look at the blocking.
Yeah,
this is unreal.
wide open side of the field. Went back a little bit, but still gets the first down before stepping out of bounds. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Did you see the dramatic flair with the .com? 4 rushing touchdowns for Robert Johnson.
Yeah, I can't do that.
You can't do it?
No. I try to just speak like full sentences with that instead of just using it right at the end.
Yeah, it's all about timing. Gotta bring it in right at the right moment.
That's terrible timing. That's why you and Cam are like the greatest.
Yeah. Oh,
More Cam than you.
Wow.
Huh.
Go work the booth with Cam then.
To be honest, he won't allow it.
Unbelievable. I make you food, provide you beverages, and that's how you thank me.
Well, I'm trying to flatter Cam, and maybe if we go 5-7, he might just throw us in the playoffs as a favor.
Yeah, the commish has that sort of power. Just say, you know what, you deserve it, Gerald. Into the playoffs you go. Robert Johnson does not get the first down. In Carolina, they're still going to get another shot at this.
But the thing about that run, they didn't pick it up or nothing like that. Here they're going to punt. Who knows? They might even go for it. But the key to that thing right there, you see Robert Johnson did not get hit until he was like 4 yards down the field. And that's what's been most important for him having success, because he didn't get touched until he got 4 yards past the line of scrimmage. As opposed to Ike McBride, she's getting hit most times behind the line of scrimmage.
Punt taken back at the 25-yard line. Nice return of about 8 yards up to the 33-yard line. That is where Carolina will take over on offense. See what they're able to do here on this drive. So Canton at 6-4. If all things hold out, they'll go to 7-4 after this week. They have one game left next week, and then they're actually the one and only team on a bye week for week 14. Next week, they hit the road. This is their final home game of the regular season. Next week, they will visit the DC Dragons, who are currently at 5-4. That game kicks off October 22nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Oh.
Mike McBride.
You see the blocking?
Yeah, and the truck there. Good gain on that one. Carolina, a couple of games left after this one. They will go back home for their final 2 of the regular season and host a pair of teams. They host the 4-5 Charleston Predators on the 20th of October. And then on presumably October 27th, the dates and times to be announced for week 14. Baltimore Vultures at 7-3. So a pair of home games to finish the season up. First down and 10. Skyhawks at their own 48. Still sticking to the ground game for now. Gerald McBride with a 2-yard carry.
Yeah, it's not quite. They need to start to air it out, and I have a feeling they're going to do it once they get under the 5-yard mark. But I do believe, like with this win right here, right? Because just by the odds, I really do think that with this win tonight, if Canton, and it looks like they're going to come away with the win here.
Yeah.
I think with this win, they've actually secured themselves a division title. And given the weird rules, right, I do think if they end up losing next week against the DC Dragons, that 7-5 does get them in the playoffs. So I could be speaking out of turn in saying so, but them with this win, no other division foe of theirs can reach them.
That's true.
And at 7-5, it's usually a log jam at 6-6 and 7-5 to get in the playoffs. I do think at 7-5, it does secure them a spot in the playoffs. I'll go out on the limb and actually say that. So this is going to
decree it to be true.
Yeah, and look, and this is going to be really, really good for Canton because this will end up being like their very first appearance
Carolina
in the playoffs.
Going to challenge the spot of the ball. We'll take a retroactive look at the replay. Presented by Retroid. Get your SFL Retroid console at goretroid.com.
I got my Retroid.
I know you do.
At retroid.com.
There you go.
SFL insignia.
Emblazoned, yes.
Emblazoned.
Is
that
it? Yeah.
what we call it?
Oh, that's what I call it.
Well, I'm waiting for Commissioner Irvine to commission that league like colored one, like
Yeah.
where like the whole shell case would be
Yeah.
like gold, and maybe put the whole like he uses for like the transition, like the SFL football logo on it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty. That'd be nice.
Come on, Mr. Irvine, make it happen. I'll buy it. I may be the only one, but I'll buy it.
I want one with a Cameron Irvine face on the back, smiling.
That's the screensaver and background.
Oh, is it?
Images,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know.
Wait, you don't do that with yours?
4th down and inches. Carolina lost the challenge. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Why not?
Well, you got it, right, if you got any hope of scoring anything. So, South, under center. It's going to throw on 4th and inches. Gets it down to the bottom, and that one is complete. It'll keep the drive alive. They'll go into the hurry-up. Xavier Solomon with the catch.
Of all times to go in the hurry-up, you do it with this offensive alignment? I don't know.
There you go. Why not?
It's working.
Chase Hurl.
Do it again.
Target number 11 gets the catch inside the 30-yard line. Mark it at the 28. Going once again down to Solomon. This time drops the ball. He's beside himself, but it stops the clock, lets him regroup.
Yeah, and that's what they need. Look, with 4 minutes left, I mean, let's just call it what it is. They've in a position that they've kind of put themselves into not even come back from this. I mean, but they have still they have 10 to the last 2 weeks to kind of get themselves in the 7-5 log jam that we predict that it's going to run down to, and come toward the end. And then we're all going to be watching look at that.
Yeah, nice pass over the middle. Going back to Chase Earl again.
We only had Riley Quintero with one catch. That's extremely surprising.
Going over the middle into the end zone. A jumping touchdown catch for Vince DeSantis. That's how tight ends get it done. Touchdown catch.
What a catch. And then he gets body slammed right after the catch. Like, where were all this type of stuff early on in the game? Because they're not kind of playing with a purpose. Jumps up, gets hit in the ribs by Kanye Rockefeller, and then body slams into the ground.
That is the nice hands catch brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. I have a feeling that if we were to look back at every game that we've called so far this season, that each and every one of the nice hands catch awards, if you will, that I've called have all been to tight ends.
I wouldn't doubt that.
I think somebody's biased.
Yeah, big time.
It was a nice catch.
It was a nice catch.
The nice hands catch. Onside kick easily recovered by Canton, and they're running back the other direction.
Rivera gets it, and they're going to be in a very, very prime position to put up another 7 points right here because they're already near the red zone. Maybe it's those pink gloves.
There you go. Breast cancer awareness. Yeah, some pink accents on Canton's uniform in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. And no bra day. I don't know why that's a national holiday. Like, it sounds like something we're just making up to try to be like silly teenagers. But alas, we're in our 40s. We don't have time for that nonsense. It's a real thing.
Pull out your national holiday calendars and you'll see it.
It's right there. Robert Johnson still in the ball game, trying to get this one closed out. Inside 4 minutes to go, and he gains 4 on the play. Gerald, just getting back to the playoff talk just a little bit. Normally, winning the division means guaranteed, automatic, you're in the playoffs no matter what, but the North Division, the only division in the league with 3 teams. So that means that there's additional criteria, basically. Canton needs to not only win the division, but also be better than the 12th best record, if I understand it correctly. So,
yeah, so I think with them being 7-5, they have met that criteria and that they will not be any worse than the 12th best team. Therefore, they would be awarded the division, which they have secured already by, the result of this game. And now they have secured themselves a position into the playoffs at minimum. Mr. Irvine, correct me if I'm wrong.
A wild card berth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At minimum. So, because 7-5 I do believe will get you in the playoffs. I know it's not mathematically all figured out yet, but I do think that is something that will get them in.
Well, the Mexico City Aztecs were at 7-5 last season and did not get in the playoffs.
The Louisiana Revolution,
I'm familiar with them.
7-5 as well.
That's the one with
but
the
we were
two-legged
better
horse,
than
right?
every other 7-5 team.
Yeah.
No bias at all in my comment, but we missed as well. What?
Stays on his feet, throws to the end zone, nearly picked off. Great move there by Patterson to shake off the sack.
He was doing his Robert Johnson impression. I don't understand. I thought he just shoving people off of him like nobody's business. So, Yeah.
Still math to be done on the playoff scenarios. Too many moving parts still. So
the way I read that was, Commissioner Irvine says, "Yes, Gerald, you are correct. I just can't publicly say it."
No, I don't think that's at all.
That's exactly what he said.
That is not the note.
That is exactly what he said.
No,
yes, it is.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess I can't even argue with that. 36-yard field goal try on its way. Rob Ems puts it through. 4 plays, only 3 yards, but it chews a minute 40 off the clock. Carolina will get the ball back. They've managed to put it in the end zone a couple of times. And we'll see if they're able to get any more points on the board as they are trying to, play for pride at this point.
Yeah, I think. Look, and I think what they need to do, right, is just try and see what's going to work for them next week, right? I mean, they know they played one of the better defenses in the league right now, the number 3 overall, or shall I misspoke? I think they are the number 2 overall defense in the league, and the number 2 scoring defense in the league as well. Which, it's Canton's only given up about 19 points per game. And they've actually held Carolina under that today. And they've actually put up 34 points themselves when, Canton is only averaging 24 points a game. So, I mean, Canton played tremendous tonight on both sides of the ball. And they weren't one-sided, which is something I expected them to see. It's like, hammer Robert Johnson right down your throat until they couldn't do it anymore. But here it is. Scar Patterson was really, really effective in the passing, and he said, hey, I can run it too.
Yeah, he had 20 pass attempts in the game, and compared to Robert Johnson's 28 rush attempts. So relatively evenly split in this one. So 2 minutes to go here from Canton. Get this one closed out in just a moment.
Notes are being handed in the booth.
Yeah, notes being passed in
the
booth.
Dessert.
Says dessert. That's it. No clarification. A double-sided note says dessert on both sides. It's nice that they take care of it here in Canton. Snacks, beverages, desserts.
I don't know. Does that mean? Look.
I think that means we've earned dessert.
I think I've earned dessert. I'm saying them guys are going to the playoffs.
That's true. You did. So, and now dessert's being delivered.
Oh, yeah. So here's dessert. Oh, it's nice.
There we go. Yeah.
I don't know what this is, but it looks delicious.
I don't know what it is either, but you know what? Cheers. So, thank you, dessert delivery man. 2nd down and 10. That South throws another pass interference. Mike McBride wondering if it is crepes. It is indeed not crepes. It's some sort of cookie cup thing. It looks like maybe a Reese's peanut butter cup cookie cup.
Yes, I think it's a homemade Reese's peanut butter cup with, I don't know. It's delicious.
It is.
We need to have some delivered to the stats truck, or shall we say the stats Winnebago?
The Winnebago, yeah.
Yeah, the stats Winnebago. That's how our stats people.
We just got new tires on it.
Yeah.
Oh, you got winter's coming.
Yeah, and we'd probably due for an oil change, but we'll get to that. It won't break down. If it does, we'll have it fixed or towed.
Towed, yeah.
On Cameron Irvine's dime.
I'm pretty sure it just gets towed all the time. Ike McBride telling us there's actually no heat in the Winnebago, so the snack delivery man brought more snacks. So unbelievable.
Yeah,
we're well taken care of.
Yes,
in the broadcast booth.
Yeah. So yes, excellent broadcast booth food.
Uh-huh.
I don't think we don't ever have food in this booth.
No, always. It's our way.
Yep.
2nd down and 10 from about midfield. Matt South still trying to move the ball. Another timeout called by the Skyhawks. 1 remaining.
And DeSantis gets his 2nd catch of the day. And look, and they're moving down. Look, and I think they're just, like I said, playing for pride here, right? Because they still are kind of playing for their playoff hopes too, right? This loss right here puts them at 5-5. It doesn't knock them out, right? It doesn't make it a little bit more difficult for them to achieve their goal of making the playoffs. Sure, it does, right? But they have a division opponent, to play in, Charleston, and then they play. Who else do they play? I think they play Baltimore.
Yeah.
Is their next opponent after that too. So, the way Carolina has played, they can take off, like the leader, knock off the leaders in the league. They did it at Florida a couple weeks back, before the bye week. And they did it without, their star player and Ike McBride. So this team can compete. So
they can, yeah. And they actually still have the option or ability, I guess you should say. They have the ability to still end the season 7-5, and Baltimore could potentially end the season at 7-5. So, Carolina did beat Baltimore earlier on this season. So if they're able to, look at that, touchdown for Carolina. Nice completion by Riley Quintero. But with Carolina having that win over Baltimore, if they're able to beat Baltimore again in Week 14, both teams could potentially end with 7-5. Carolina could still take away the Atlantic Division #1 spot. So obviously playing Canton here today, but they're going to be Canton fans next week as the Classics take on the DC Dragons. So it's amazing the difference from 1 week to the next. But yeah, this loss does not mean the season's over. They could still potentially take the Atlantic if things go their way.
Yeah, and it's going to start with them winning games, right? They need a little bit of help, and coming into the the last 2 weeks with maybe somebody knocking off that Baltimore team and them actually, cleaning up the rest in the end. But they're going to have to win, next week against Charleston to actually, shut down them from even trying to get anywhere near the division title and actually take care of the business themselves, right? So they win next week. Baltimore somehow loses next week. It comes down for the division at that point.
Exactly. It'll be a big game in Week 14 if those pieces fall into place. So we'll have to see how the rest of this season plays out. But all things are not done here. The illegal touch on that onside kick results in the onside kick being done over again. And Carolina recovers it. Yeah. And they keep possession of the football. So
here we are talking like here we are talking like the game is over.
Carolina's we're not dead yet.
Yeah, and they just picked it up. We got 1 minute and 20 left. If they can go down and score really, really quick.
Yeah, down by 2 touchdowns still, and they don't have any timeouts. So they got to score and get yet another onside kick. So tall task ahead, but it's not done yet. See what they can do here. Let's pay more attention now. Matt South, he's back under center, 19-32, 265 yards,
Whoa.
Nearly throws his 2nd pick of the ball game. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, won't get it done like that.
Minute 18 to go. Lynette Cowper in the chat getting the reference I was trying to make.
Yep.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I'm not dead yet. I feel happy. Whack. Love that movie. South rolls out to the right, throws complete.
Oh.
Chase Earl gets the catch, gets the first down in the minute 12. 8 receptions, 94 yards. They'll go into the hurry up at their own 45. Down to the bottom, stepping out of bounds after a 3-yard gain is Vince DeSantis.
Yeah, what a play there. Look, ever since they got the ball back, they've only used up 18 game clock seconds. They got the ball after the onside kick with 1 minute and 21 seconds, and they use up 18 seconds so far on just a few plays to get themselves almost right at midfield. Yes, that is very good math.
You're just smacking coconuts together. South throws. Incomplete, but a flag on the play.
And that's about a 15-yard penalty there.
Defensive pass interference is indeed the call. Ball will be placed at the Canton 40-yard line, so about an 11-yard penalty all said and done, but a fresh set of downs and the clock will stop with 1 minute on the dot.
Wow. And that gets him just a little bit closer. Down 13.
South, 7-step drop, throws down the right side, gets the completion, but stays in bounds. They'll hurry back to the line. They got to, at some point soon, Gerald, start taking a couple of shots at the end zone. They'll clock that one with 48 seconds to go.
Yeah, and that's the perfect thing to do, right? Because if you look at it now, here they are. They're approaching about 40-ish seconds of game time that they use to be able to get down the field with the offense that they're running. So if you want to do some math, you gotta make haste.
Harish Prasad in motion down to the bottom, still awaiting his first catch of the game. South throws up top. Gets that one complete to Chase Earl. They'll go back into the hurry up again. Earl passing 100 yards on the day.
I don't think you spike it. I think you run another play.
I think they'll spike it. I win. You lose.
Yeah.
I would have kept going. I would have just kept going. But, gives them a chance to regroup. Our chat is now just all in on Monty Python.
I do see that.
Talking about unladen swallows, African or European, finding out what their quest is. Pay attention, folks. 36 seconds to go. Two-score ball game, but Carolina knocking on the door, firing up top. Picked off and returning it back the other way. That is going to seal the game as that return is brought by Lacey. Evan Lacey with the pick up to the 17-yard line, and with no timeouts left, Gerald, that will seal the victory for the Canton Classics. Tipped it to himself and brought it in. That's the ball game.
Yeah, they must run the look. We don't need nobody else to tip it to ourselves. Got a second interception in or near the end zone the day that Carolina has thrown, and now Canton can celebrate. They can go out and go to the locker room, put on their division championship shirts. Let's pause until the commissioner actually confirms that you've actually made the playoffs. But you win next week. Yeah. There's no way you're not in the playoffs.
This gets you one step closer, that's for sure. 7-4, Canton will improve to after this victory. Carolina will fall to 5-5. Final seconds ticking away. Gerald, your final thoughts on this ball game?
Canton did what we didn't expect, right? We knew they were going to come in and play good defense, right? We thought it was going to be a lot of the Robert Johnson show, but they actually flipped it around and said, hey, we can play a little bit of a balanced attack and actually be dominant that way, right? And Carolina struggled on offense, right? I think their defense held up as much as it could, given that, but whenever you put your defense on the field a lot, it makes it really, really difficult for them to hold up all game like that. So, Carolina still has a lot to play for. Canton still has a lot to play for as well, right? With if they come in and win next week, it actually increases their positioning inside the playoffs. And like I said, I'm gonna call it, meaning they've actually got the division and they actually get themselves in the playoffs. So at minimum, you'll be at, like the last seeded team in the playoffs, but you're in. Congratulations on your first division championship and your unofficial first playoff berth.
Division rival Queen City falling to Jacksonville 41-17 earlier on this evening as well. That's the final in that one. Coming up next at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time, Minnesota at Las Vegas. Chad Rowland and Eddie Gage on the call for some Friday Night Football. Houston at Vancouver. We'll follow immediately after at 10:30 p.m. Stephen Hacker, Alden Bleeker on the call. That is the final here in this one. Gerald, player of the game real quick.
Robert Johnson.
Attaboy, there you go. Robert Johnson, Gerald's player of the game. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. Canton wins it 34-21. For Gerald Smith, Ike McBride, Tristan Hatley, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who will always be with me in spirit. I'm Mike Daggs. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy. Have a great night. Stay tuned. More SFL action right around the corner after this.